Good evening and welcome. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS. Stop taking our children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and it's a warm welcome because you've now, encountered a very difficult government agency to deal with. The CPS stands for what I call the Child Protection System. There's a name for it, different name in every county that's in every state. It's worldwide. This live stream is a worldwide podcast. There are 21 countries and 50 states and the District of Columbia that have texted in or called in about their CPS case. So we all have something in common. I too was a victim of CPS. My family was torn apart. My wife and I went through so much pain. We lost our home. We lost one daughter, and we lost my ability to get a job and credit and so forth. I could go on and on what CPS has done for me. I've been fighting for 15 years. And so I know what you're going through. I've been there. Now, I'm a family man. I'm not an attorney. I'm also a husband and a father of raising 6 children and 41 years of marriage experience. Now, that's a long time. And so my 3 older children had already grown up, have children of their own, and they weren't a part of the CPS nightmare that I had in Orange County, California. That was sad. That's where they were getting money for my children of $20,000 per month per child. That was for 3 years. My case started in 2010 with false accusations. And then in 2015, they took my 3 children. I had to hire Vincent Davis to get my children back. He is the attorney that has created this live stream. He's a really remarkable lawyer. He's trained in the law area of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. He has 39 years of fighting CPS and getting children back. He knows how to fight. He's also done lawsuits after cases closed and sued CPS millions of dollars, which he's gotten back. He's done that both in state court and federal court. So with 39 years experience being a trial attorney, he's one of the best you can find around there. Now, I have 5 rules that in all my other live streams, you can read about them further. Rule 1 is you get an attorney, and I mean a real attorney that's trained in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. 2, document everything. Create a notebook. Do an incident time log of all the events. 3, do not talk to social workers. Say very little, because what you say to them may come back to haunt you. Do not let them in your home. Don't answer the door if it knocks. You need an attorney present in all parts of the proceeding. You need someone to help you out. If you see them outside, be nice to them. Take their information, tell them you get back to them, but you want to be represented with the attorney. You'll need an attorney to navigate through the corruptness of CPS. They cheat, they lie, they're very evil people. Not all of them are bad, but there are a lot of them that are. And I'm talking over 1,000 people I've talked to. And those 1,000 people will tell you how bad they are. Now, I want to thank my regular room people coming in. It's so great to see you tonight. We have, let me see who we got here. We think we have Cynthia Livingstone. I assume it's Cynthia and maybe not your other half. I don't know. First up was Louis Perez. And don't give up, parents. You're right. Don't give up. And welcome, Livingston, and thank you, Louis, for being here. I forgot where you're from, Louis. If you can tell me, that would be great. Yep, I guess when you're 1 year old, he was practicing 39 years ago. Yep, he's been saving kids since you're 1 year old, Livingston. I believe you're Cynthia. Now, Louis says between you and your partner, you must remain together. It's a lot easier for them to separate if the mother and the father are separated first. Yeah, you need to be united. I agree with you there, Lewis. I agree with you on that. Welcome, Miss Cat. Now, Lewis, I forgot where you're from. If you could tell me, let me put up a banner here that asks that when you want to text a message, it will say something here. Let me put up that banner. My computer is still acting up. Every time I click something, it goes a different direction. Okay. On my screen, I put about how to send text messages. Please read it. If you have a question, ask me. If you have a question, ask me. I'm here to help you all. I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father and a husband. And I've had a CPS case myself. It was awful. Yeah. Oh, from Los Angeles, Luis Paris. Okay, welcome. We have two of you. Livingston, Cynthia Livingston is from LA too. And welcome to you're both in LA County. Yeah, if you guys are apart, then they will take your children. So you're right there, Louise Paris. It's best to be together with your partner. It really is. And that's a very true statement to say. Um, let me see. Where did you go? Hold on a second. I'm having a terrible time with my computer here. Miss Cat, yeah. You cannot depend on an attorney the courts give you or that CPS supports court granted attorneys. Public defenders and court appointed attorneys are a nightmare. They're not trained in juvenile law, family law, dependency law. They're not going to fight. They have 30 more cases themselves. They're too busy and they don't have the desire to go after them. Also, they're not trained in juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. They're just criminal attorneys starting out. So you're really not going to go very far with a court appointed attorney or a public defender. Now, we have different parts of the show. One of the major parts I'm changing now is I'm going to be talking about topics a lot more. I'm going to go to the Google and see the latest information about CPS cases and what's happening out there and talk about those topics. But you're perfectly welcome to call. If you call in, I will stop talking the topics and talk to you. And when you call in, you can voice on that. So I'll put my number up. But before I put my number up, I need to show you something about how to be a guest on my live stream. To be a guest on my live stream, you're going to contact my show producer, Grace at vincentwdavis.com. That's Grace at vincentwdavis.com. She will help you to get to be a guest on my live stream. You'll be using StreamYard. You give the link to StreamYard and you go ahead, click it, and you're on. If you fall off, re-click it again, get back on. And that way you can interact with me, with you, and maybe there's 3 or 4 other people. I can take up to max of 9. With me, it makes 10 people. And that's the max it will do there when you try to talk in a group there. Now, at the bottom of my screen, I have a ticket talking about how to subscribe to YouTube. We're trying to start a newsletter. It's $1.99 per month. And it'll be topics that I'll talk about, Vincent will talk about, and other articles on there about how to reach our schools and how to reach our extra work, our applications and work profiles and stuff. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Defense Strategies. Now, for some of you that are listening in for the first time, that number to my left, if you're facing the screen, is 888-888-6582. That is my office number. I can be reached. I can only be reached during my office hour times. Now, I'm on Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And on the weekend, I'm on at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then on the weeknights, I'm on at 7 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Every night of the week, I'm on at 7 p.m. And there is a address of websites I'll be showing shortly in there. Now, I was real quickly telling you that, after documentation, rule number 3 is don't talk to social workers, don't let them in, don't answer the door. If you see them, tell them you need time to get your attorney together before you address them or talk to them. Don't go to the office, don't let them in your home, and try to use McDonald's or Starbucks or the library to talk at. But whatever you do, you need to get an attorney and follow his or her advice. Now, besides being a guest, you can call me at my number. My number now is live. You can call me at that number. It's 626-698-0990. Now, we have a new person in this room called Steve Williams. Welcome, Steve Williams. I currently have CPS trying. Hold on, Steve. My computer is scrolling and characters going wild. I currently have CPS trying to railroad my family. I believe you, Steve. Where are you from, Steve? What city and state? Or if you're from another country, where are you located? Now we have Cynthia Livingston from LA talking in the room, and then we have Luis Perez from LA talking in the room. And we also have Miss Cat, but she disappeared, and I don't know what city she's from. Now, this is a live stream where I do talk about anything you want to talk about, as long as it's regarding CPS. All you do is shoot me a topic you'd like me to talk about, I will. Now, I have topics that I will talk about and share them with you. Now, I'm using Google to address these topics. Now, what I'm doing is I'm looking at Google topics regarding CPS, like live news about CPS. Good evening. You reached the law office of Vincent W. Davis. I'm Bob Pace. How can I help you?
Yes, hello, Bob Pace. I have a question. My name's Luis Perales.
Right. You're from
I'm the one
LA.
that messaged
You're
you
from
right now.
LA, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so my question. Currently, I'm in the appeal stage of my case, and basically they filed the Phoenix H brief. Basically, I have no merits on how do you say? Yeah, my appellate attorney filed the Phoenix H brief, which basically he couldn't find anything wrong with my case, but I was looking through the paperwork through the AOB, paperwork, and I found discrepancies in the paperwork. So pretty much I looked it up, and I was able to find the Public Records Act. So I sent them a message, and that's going directly to I forget what part I contacted. Give me 1 second.
That's right. Take your time. I know you're underneath a lot of strain about this. How did your case start?
It started with false allegations of abuse.
Well, before they made the false allegations of abuse, how did they approach you? Where were they located?
They were located Glendale. I mean, my case is with Glendale.
Yes, but did they come down to your home, or how they get to you?
So basically, me and my ex, we split, and one day I show up. She told me that her washer was broken, and I showed up, and there's something suspicious. So I brought it up, and she took basically we decided to take my daughter into the hospital, and bringing, I'm not going to say the name, but the social worker at the hospital, it was proven false. I mean, so it was proven false, but the social worker, they picked up the case at the hospital, and it continued, and it's already been 2 years, even though the allegations were proven false. They continued the case, and I'm still, they terminated my custody in October, even though it was false allegations, and it never, there was no police report. It was, but the social worker basically said, she brought it into evidence as a police report, but it was a call log that she used.
Really?
And basically, the person in the call log, yes.
So she's trying to get the kids, and so she's trying to alienate you from the kids.
Yeah, they terminated my
parental rights. Parental rights, yes.
Yeah, that happened this October. But the thing is, with my case, so I was able to file 2 appeals. One of the appeals, I didn't even know that it got filed, and I'm trying to recall the remitter because I'm already on my second appeal. They already closed the first one, so I'm trying to recall to get back into the first appeal. That way, I could appeal the Superior Court's judgment. It's difficult. It's difficult. But the false allegations, I contacted the social worker at the DCFS office, I contacted the county council in order to acquire the. Let me see. One second. To acquire. I submitted a formal request for access to case records.
Okay.
And basically they emailed me and they told me that let me pull it up real quick. And this just happened today. So I'm fighting the false allegations all this time, and it's difficult. It's really difficult when it's false allegations. I mean, it's false allegations. You know yourself that it's not real. I mean, but it's just the way they go about it legally, and it gets tiring explaining to yourself. Like, it gets to a point after 2 years of fighting. I mean, it gets to a point where you're not even fighting the false allegations. You're fighting to keep your kids. That's the hardest part. I don't understand like how I let it get this far, but it's like every time you go to court, they don't want to talk about the false allegations. It's already been in the past, and that's how they make you feel. They want you to feel like you were the one that did it, even though everything was proven false, and they don't want to step back and go back to fix the false allegations. I mean, with me, they just overlooked it, and every time I went to court, it was another battle. I mean, I wasn't fighting the false allegations, and they never gave me the opportunity. But you have now after going through this case, you have to object. Since the very, very beginning, you have to object. And if you don't have that opportunity to object, and you weren't at the case, I mean, you weren't at the court proceeding, it's really difficult, because the court proceeding continues moving on, and basically what they want to do is take your kids away from you, and that's the hardest part. I mean, in my case, the jurisdiction, they took jurisdiction over my kids over a false. Over a false allegation. It was proven false. But yeah, my question is.
Yes.
Oh, I contacted.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead with your question.
Okay, so I did a formal request for access to my case records.
Okay.
And basically, it's going above DCFS, and it's actually going to the records that got submitted to. I believe they get submitted.
LA County?
No.
Sacramento?
Let me see.
Did it go?
LA County, yeah.
LA County, I thought
Those
so.
are the actual court records that get submitted by DCFS. Now, I found differences in the appellate opening briefs. The appellate's opening brief and my regular Superior Court documents, like the JD 300, I believe, or
JD 180. 180.
JD. Yeah. Because I kept all my paperwork, and I think that's very important. You have to keep all the paperwork.
Yes, you do.
After you start seeing the paperwork,
you need to put in a notebook. You need to put in the largest notebook you have.
It's really easy.
Yeah. And you need to put in...
it starts becoming...
Right. You need to put in subject tabs so it's organized so you can find things.
Oh man, yeah, that makes the biggest difference.
Like
But
you
any
have
little
one
difference,
subject
you
tab
really gotta.
for court orders, another subject tab for your drug test, another subject tab for the program certificates, lots of different subject tabs.
Yes. Now, what I think DCF says, I think the main problem, they try to. It's like a mountain of paperwork, and it's really when a parent looks at the paperwork, the hardest part is they feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
And it's just all lies. It's all false allegations, and it's all lies, and they're trying to make you feel little, like you're not a good parent. And that's
well, no,
not right.
what you
That's
need
not
to do
right.
is you need to highlight it and number each one that is wrong and dispute it.
Every allegation. Yes.
Every allegation. Yes, you're right. In writing to them.
Yes. And you need to start proving the allegations wrong. Either you could get written statements from your family members, from friends. You got to prove every statement wrong. Once you start taking away what they use as a weapon, basically, once you start taking that away, I mean, that you start proving everything false, and that's it shows a lot. It shows that the initial investigator, it proves them wrong. Everything that they're saying about you, it proves them wrong, and you gotta really understand what the allegations are.
Do you have an attorney?
And that's where an attorney helps out.
Do you have an attorney?
No.
That's something you need to get. And I don't mean a court-appointed attorney, I mean a real attorney. Do you have do you have a home or a piece of property owned that you could take a loan against?
I was actually homeless for 2 years.
Okay.
I've been for 2 years. I mean, honestly, I've never stopped fighting, but I think the hardest part is I was homeless. I mean, that is the hardest part.
I know it is, Louis. You don't know how I feel for you because I too am a victim of CPS and I went through everything. In fact, I lost one of my children. She's 22 now, but she was stolen from me at age 12 in a retaliated motion by a CPS worker.
Yeah, and sometimes it's how they interact with you. Like, honestly, I started noticing real quick that the social worker, even though she smiled in my face and she was nice to me, you see that little smirk in their face that, okay, they're gonna use the little bit that you give them, and honestly, I did interact with the social worker. I thought, you know what, this might be. I thought they were there to help, and honestly, they are not.
No, they're not there to help. I'm sorry to say that.
It's like almost every interaction that I had with her was somehow she turned it into to make me look bad.
They twist and turn. They retaliate too. They retaliate and they lie.
And I think I did push her buttons because, I mean, I did a couple complaints. I submitted a couple complaints. I believe I submitted a complaint with Catherine Berger. I think she's the 5th Division supervisor. It's right when you walk into a DCFS. It says her name right on top of the.
We don't want to use names on the live stream. We don't want to use names on the live stream. Just say social worker 1, social worker 2, or whatever whatever job they're doing or doing. Okay.
Yes, sir. So when I filed the complaint with the supervisor, she actually was able to get my daughters to come to the office, because I didn't see my daughters for like a year, and me being homeless, my ex, she really used that in court to say basically I can't take care of my daughters, but we broke up, and that's the most difficult, is one parent has to move out and the other parent has to be able to take care of the kids, which is difficult. I mean, that by itself, to a parent, it's difficult without having that other person there that you could rely on. But I took it upon myself to take myself out of the because I thought everything was going to stop once I leave. That didn't happen. Once I left, the allegations even became more difficult to deal with, honestly.
How did your case first start off at? What was the beginning?
Just a false allegation.
Well, no, did they come to your house? Did they write you a letter? Did they do a phone call?
No. As a matter of fact, the case began. I was never notified. Since I was homeless.
Did they come to the house? I mean, how did it start? How did it start?
It started with the visit to the hospital.
So you had medical trafficking. You went to what, the emergency room or urgent care?
Emergency room.
Okay, and why were you going to the emergency room? Was your wife ready to have a baby?
No. So basically, it was it's kind of difficult to explain, but I was no longer in the house. I already moved out.
So you and your wife were separated or divorced?
We're not married.
So you guys were boyfriend, girlfriend, or lovers?
Yeah, she was my high school sweetheart.
So you guys were pretty much lovers trying to make a relationship, and you decided not to get married, and then you had a child. Now, how many children did you have before CPS got involved?
3.
And are you the biological father of all 3 children?
I've been with her 14 years.
Are you the biological father of the 3 children?
Yes.
Okay, so you two have a relationship, and you have 3 children. And so what happened at the hospital? I mean, what was going on?
So basically, I moved out. I split with her. One day she called me. She's like, "Oh, the washer. There's something wrong with the washer." So I brought them another washer. I just showed up unexpectedly. Since she let me know, I just brought back. I can't have my kids without a washer, you know.
Well, I understand that, but you show up with a washer. Did she let you in, or what happened?
Yeah, she wasn't home. She was at work, and basically, when I showed up, my daughters were there. I didn't know that they went to had a pool party, but when I show up, my daughters were asleep. But my youngest one, I guess she got up, and what I'm thinking is she was just tired. But I thought something happened, but she was really tired, and that's the first time I seen her. But I didn't know she had a pool party, so I called my ex and I told her, "Hey, there's something wrong with her. She's really tired." What happened? My ex was at work, so she didn't know what happened.
Well, who was looking after the children? Who was looking after the children?
My ex's father.
Okay, so the ex's father was supervising the 3 children while your ex-girlfriend was working, and you brought over a new wash machine, and you noticed that one of your children woke up and looked a little bit out of it.
Yes.
And so
So
you tell your old girlfriend what's wrong, and what did she tell you next to do?
she told me, I don't know what's wrong. I'm not home. I'm at work. So
Okay.
I didn't have I didn't have no one to ask. My oldest one, she was asleep.
So did you take him to the hospital? Did you take that child to the hospital?
Yes. So what ended up happening is.
Do you wait for the mother to come home before you take the child to the hospital?
Yes.
Okay, so
of course, because I mean it's the parent. I mean.
Well, you're the biological father. Are you on the birth certificates? Is your name on the birth certificates as the father?
Yes.
Okay, so you have every right to be there. You have every right to be concerned about your child. So you and your girlfriend take off for the hospital with a child that doesn't look like it's doing very well.
Yes.
And then when you get to the hospital,
so
how'd the hospital treat you?
Basically, the social worker in the hospital is going to take over. I wasn't able to go.
Well, wait a minute. What is a social worker who works for CPS doing at the hospital?
Oh, they're ready. I mean, to pick up any case that
oh, I know. They're medical. What happens is called medical trafficking. There are social workers now at urgent care and emergency rooms. And their primary goal is to try to catch parents and take their children away from them. I know what they're supposed to do. It's called medical trafficking. And so did you not tell them that this is a hospital? You're bringing your child to be fixed? Why they did not leave the area? They don't have a requirement to be in the room with your child. They're strangers.
So basically, okay. Basically, what my ex told me is, they have the doctors in the hospital or the nurses. They're required by law to
report neglect or abuse.
The social worker.
Right? No, not the
If there's any
neglect or abuse. I know what the law is. They're called mandated reporters. They're professionally, they've been trained in CPS. Yes. They know what neglect is. They know what abuse is. They know how to report it. So, yeah, they report it. Now the social workers are there. Now, at that time, you could have told the social worker, I need my attorney present before we discuss this anymore. You didn't know about that. I didn't know about that. You need to have your attorney present. Yeah. And you can do that, and that gives you some time to get away from them.
Yeah, because honestly, right after that, basically the social worker was at our house the next day, and she's the one that picked up the case.
You're supposed to say no to the social worker. Yeah, you're supposed to say no to them. You got to learn. All your parents out there listening, the mistake I made and Lewis's make is allowing a social worker into our life. You don't have to.
Because you're the parent. And,
well, not only the parent, you need a search warrant. You need a search warrant for a CPS worker to take a child from you, to come in your home, to ask you questions, to talk to you. You need a search warrant.
Honestly, and you are right. Thinking back on what happened to me, and even though the allegations were proven false, if you have an attorney, I mean, if they're proven false, there's no evidence. There's nothing. I mean,
well, you're going to have your records cleared. You're going to have your records expunged. You need to do that because those will stay on the records unless you have them expunged.
Now, your parental rights, I mean, don't they...
The termination of parental rights is done through a hearing. They have to do a hearing to terminate your parental rights.
Yeah, because after that, I think they put my ex, she got scared and she put a restraining order. And everything just flew out of proportion.
Why was she putting a restraining order on you? Why'd she put a restraining order on you?
Uh, she thought that I was. Um, I guess she felt like. Let me see. It's the only person was the dad, and I'm pretty sure she got mad that. But I never told her. I thought I didn't know. Like I didn't even see my daughter for about a week. So for me to show up and just see my daughter that she's tired because of a pool party, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just showed up and she was really out of it. Like she was tired. And kids do get tired. They get cranky. It was my fault. But yeah, it's difficult. I think she was more mad that the only person that was there at the house was her dad. So basically, she thought that I was pointing. She thought that I was singling the dad out, and basically saying that he's the one that abused my daughter. I never said that. It's just I see something different with my daughter, and as a dad, I mean I'm gonna make sure my daughter's okay. And we ended up going to the emergency, and that's when the case started. And it really split me and my ex apart even more. I mean, after that, we didn't talk because the social worker and the attorneys told her that she can't discuss the case or anything. She has a restraining order. If I show up back to the house, that gives them the right to come back to the house and take the kids away from her, which basically separated. We're still broken up, and I've been with her for 14 years. I was with her for 14 years.
Well, okay. So where's your case now? Where's your case now?
Let me see. So the case it started on October 2023. They terminated my parental rights this October 2025. No, 2024. And right now I was able to appeal it. So I'm right now I'm appealing the Superior Court's judgment, which is basically terminating my parental rights. And right now, I think I could visit my kids 1 hour a week or something like that. It's difficult. Yeah, I could visit my kids 1 hour. I think it's a week. Only for 1 hour, and I have to have someone to monitor the visit. But yeah, they terminated my parental rights.
Now, what was the grounds they terminated your parental rights? What were the grounds, Louis, that he terminated your parental rights?
The grounds for terminating my parental rights, I would have to look it up. I'm not too sure. I think the grounds were I think it's because my kids said they were asking questions. The social worker was asking questions for my kids, and basically my kids, they told them that one time I hit them, and that one time, I mean, they really get out of proportion. I mean, they're using that. It's not even about the abuse no more. So all the allegations on me are from before the initial when the initial investigation started. They're way before. They even brought back, I think, police reports of one time we got in a fight, me and my ex, and they brought that and they used it as evidence, even though it wasn't part of the initial investigation, which they can't use evidence that's prior. I mean, you could object to it, but the thing is, I never showed up to court. And I wasn't able to object to it. So basically, the case continued.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Louis. There's a question from your audience. Crystal Goo Baby, I'd love to talk to you. You can talk to me tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's on the west coast of California. Or you can talk to me tomorrow night at 7 o'clock p.m. That's either tomorrow morning at 8 or at 7, Crystal. And I don't know where you're from, but welcome to my room. Welcome to my room, Crystal. Steve Williams, I still don't know where you're from, and if you have a question for me, I'd love to answer it. I have Luis Perez from LA, California on the phone. Now, Miss Cat, I don't know where you're from or what your question is, but I'd love to help you, Miss Cat. Also, Livingston, this is probably Cynthia Livingston. There's a husband and wife who've hired Mr. Davis to defend them, and she'd been fighting a bad case in Los Angeles County. I welcome all of you in the room, and I do watch as people come in and what they talk about and so forth. Go ahead, Louis. When's your next court date?
My next court date, I actually have to file a motion to recall. So I was able to file 2 appeals after they terminated my parental rights. So after the first appeal, I really never they never told me basically what happened. Going through the case, I think they did a change of attorney 3 times. And every time I would have to explain to my attorney what's going on. And I think that was the most difficult part.
That's okay. I know the frustration, Louis. Hold on 1 second, Louis. I have Little Nugget come in. Little Nugget, you came on to the tail end of my show last night, and there's some questions you asked I never got to finish with you. I have a guest right now talking to me, Louis. But Little Nugget, if you could text me what's your questions, I'd love to help you. You say you need help. Where are you from, Little Nugget? What part of the country are you from? You can ask me for advice and help. It's no problem, Little Nugget. I'd love to help you. You're from San Diego, California. Well, welcome. So either tomorrow morning or tomorrow night, you can talk to me, Little Nugget. But right now, it's Louis's turn to talk. But I'm glad you came back again. You are a Native American and you live in a reservation in San Diego. Then you need to know about the ICWA law, the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978. It's very important you know about that. And I would love to help you. And you answer your questions, I'll help you. I'll talk to you about you should not be forced into a safety plan. You should not be forced into it. And, if you are a Native American Native American tribe, and your wife is one, and your child is one, all you have to do is be 25% Native Indian blood and be registered with one of the 548 federal recognized tribes. Or if you're not registered, you need to get registered. All that means that they'll do is they'll put your child with another Native American family on a reservation and do reunification. You'll get your child back further, and they're not going to try to steal your child. You went to the detention hearing. Have you been to that, Louis, before, the detention hearing?
Yes.
What happened in your case with detention hearing? What happened with you?
The detention hearing, what happens in the detention hearing? I've been to so many cases. The detention hearing is when they detain your kids, right?
Right. They determine that your kids are in danger in your place, and they must be at a home, either with a family member, a friend, or whatever, or be put into foster care. Now, were you ever given an opportunity, Lewis, to give a list of family members or friends that your child could stay with?
As a matter of fact, no.
See, that's one of your rights that was violated. That's one of your rights were violated. They're supposed to make every attempt, two things. One, to see if you're a Native American Indian. Two, they're supposed to ask for a list of family, relatives, or friends they could stay with.
I did not know that.
Well, no one knows the stuff that I'm talking about because it's something I've learned the last 15 years. If I knew what I knew now, I would never be in CPS's hands.
Yeah. I think the way, because they were trying to detain my kids for me, but since I stayed away from the house, and since I never came, because the allegations were they're proven false, I just don't know how they continued the case. I mean, and basically right now, that's what I have to prove to the appellate court is there's certain things. I mean, even when you appeal, it can't be on the procedures that DCFS took. If you're not in the Superior Court, the appellate court, they don't look at the procedures or basically they look for certain laws, not laws, statutes.
Right. Well, you know what? I have a question to ask you, Lewis. Would you like to talk to a real attorney, one that is a juvenile law attorney, a family law attorney, dependency attorney that's fought for 39 years and have gotten children back? Would you like that?
Yes, sir.
That'd be no charge.
I think I've already spoken to him.
Oh, are you talking about Vincent Davis? Have you talked to him?
Yes. I've talked to him four
okay.
times.
Well, Lewis,
Yeah.
by you talking tonight on the show, you're entitled to talk to him for 15 minutes. And since you talked to him, I can take your name, your full name, your email, and your phone number.
I just, yeah, he'll remember me. Yeah, he'll remember me. I just messaged him earlier today, and I also know the other attorney. I'm not too sure if I could say names, but I
it's all right. You don't need to tell me the other attorney. But I'm trying to tell you right now is that do you want to retain a professional attorney or do you want to fight with the court-appointed attorneys?
No, I need a professional attorney because
well, the next question is asked, do you know how you come up with the money for a professional attorney? For instance, Mr. Davis has a retainer of $5,000 for LA County. He's $500 an hour. That's his hourly rate. That'll go against the retainer. When the retainer gets low, you'll be asked to refill it again.
Oh, okay.
But I'm telling you right now, for $5,000, that is a great deal.
Yes, it is.
I spent a lot more money with Vincent Davis to get my two boys back and a lot more money. So that is a good deal. Now, if you want to talk to him about retaining, you can call me. I do phone calls weekdays, Monday through Friday, from 8 in the morning to 10 o'clock and from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And I'll gladly talk to you, send an agreement, and we can talk further about retaining Mr. Davis and how you can do it. If you want to speak to Mr. Davis, again, all you have to do is text me at my phone number. And you give me your full name, your email, and your phone number. And I can set that up for you if you like that.
Of course. I would love that.
Well, the ball's in your court. I'm going to have to end tonight, not because I don't want to. I love to stay here and talk and try to help you out. But my show's over at 8 o'clock. It's after 8. It's 8:04, I think it is. And so I have gone a little bit overboard. Little Nugget, I want you to call me in tomorrow morning or tomorrow night and let you talk a little bit about your case. Also, if you want to speak to Mr. Davis for free by calling in, you can do so. So I want to thank all my listeners, not only Lewis, who very broken his heart out to try to get help here, but I want to thank Cynthia Livingston, who has hired Mr. Davis for her case. Little Nugget, I want to thank you. You've been on here before. Crystal Goobsley, thank you very, very much for being on here. And by the way, Little Nugget is from San Diego. I forgot to tell you guys that. And who else? Crystal Goods, baby. I don't know where you're from. I may have forgotten there. I thought I knew where everybody was from. Lewis is from LA, California. And we had Livingston do a lot of text messaging. We had Steve Williams tonight. And of course, we've been talking to Luis Perez. I want to thank you for opening up, Luis. I know it's hard for you. And all of you, please keep fighting for your children. Do not forget. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. It's Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. Keep fighting for your kids. And this is Bob Pace signing off.